Welcome to Snipisode 29 of the Daily Dose of DMC podcast. Today is Thursday, February 9th, 2023, and as always, I'm your host, HK. Good morning, all you beautiful people. Welcome back to another daily dose of dedication, motivation, and commitment, where every weekday at 8 CET, I upload another Snipisode where we talk about topics that revolve around positivity and progressing and transforming our mind to focus on abundance and to focus on growth. Things that I think are really important, especially to kickstart our day, because I believe that if you start the day hearing these kind of messages, that no matter what happens throughout the course of your day, you're going to reflect on these things and you're going to approach your day differently, even when you do face frustrations or scenarios that aren't exactly the best. I really think that these kind of things help. And like I said, it's also a form of self-therapy for myself, and I really hope that it helps you guys as well. And today I want to talk to you guys about the opinion trap, something I was recently talking to with somebody. And I took down a couple notes which I just want to share with you guys. And I think it fits in nicely with the things that we've been discussing so far this week with Kaizen, that concept of personal improvement and focusing on opportunities instead of obstacles. And we did a little meditation. Talking about meditation, I threw in my 4 minutes today. I hope you did as well. But I want to talk to you guys about opinions. So I think we as people, we tend to care about others' opinions, and for a variety of reasons. And I've written down 5. So the first one I have is the fear of rejection, because I think we as people, we're afraid of being rejected. We're afraid of being ostracized by others. And hence we're trying to always fit in and avoid doing things that may draw negative attention to us because we have that fear. So fear drives that, and that's how we think other people think about us. The second one is seeking validation. So logically, we've all gone through this, that we seek validation from others. We seek that approval from others as a way to kind of, boost our own self-esteem and to feel good about ourselves. And social media and whatnot has skewed this so much with all the likes and comments and follows and subscribers, not just from a business perspective and whatnot, but it's about seeking validation. Like my content, that kind of thing. Thirdly is social pressure. So society places like a lot of emphasis on basically conforming to certain norms. To norms and expectations that society in general has laid out. And so a lot of people just feel that pressure to meet those standards, simply just to fit in and I guess, be accepted by others or by society. The fourth one is that lack of confidence. So there's people out there, that might be you, if you're listening to this, who just have a lack of confidence, and so you rely basically on others' opinions as a way to gauge out, your own worth and your abilities, whereas that is, I find, very superficial, but we'll talk about that in just a second. And ultimately, the last one is conditioning. I think there's a lot of people out there, you hear me say this a lot in a lot of different terms, that they've learned over time to seek out, approval from other people, so that opinion, because during childhood, that's what they were taught. That's how, they were learning to navigate basically social relationships. And it's completely natural to want to be accepted, to want to be liked. But the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is that you don't have to conform to others' opinions in order to be happy, or especially to be fulfilled. That's more important, just to be fulfilled in life. And you got to learn to focus on your own goals, your own values, and surround yourself with supportive people. But I'm going to get to that in just a second. I think it's so important. We've all been there. Like I said, those 5 things that I listed are what I really think are the reasons that people tend to care about others' opinions. But if you can break free from that, if you can really not give a crap about all of that, then you are going to be so much more happier and so much more fulfilled. That doesn't mean you neglect social relationships or anything. It's a way how you navigate yourself towards your own goals and living on your own values and principles. I know, I get it. There's, people can have opinions. They can do that, yeah. And an opinion, you have the same, yeah. So do I. An opinion is, when we're judging or evaluating someone, based on our personal perspectives and our personal experiences, yeah. So when you judge somebody or somebody judges you, it may or may not be accurate. It may or may not be useful, but it's influenced by a variety of factors. And that includes my own bias or my mood or my personal circumstances when I'm creating an opinion. Whereas on the other side of this discussion, you also have advice. So that mentor-mentee relationship, for example, that I have with several folks. And to me, that difference is that advice is something that I give or that I receive, depending on the relationship. It's going to help you make a decision or solve a problem. Yeah, and I really truly believe that advice should be offered with that intent, yeah, that intention of just being helpful. Yeah, when I talk to people, I just want to be helpful. And I guess there's people that are malice and malicious out there that, when they give advice, they do it with an agenda behind it. But, I really believe that if you're going to give advice, yeah, that you should give that with the best of your expertise, the best of your experience, the best of your understanding of a particular situation, and to do it authentically and altruistically. And that's kind of the difference between opinion and advice. And the thing is, you can learn to choose to take someone's advice, or you can choose to ignore it. Same goes with the opinion of you. You don't have to agree with it. Yeah, and what's important is that you focus on your own goals and you focus on your own values. So what I want to quickly talk about here as time is ticking away is my 9 tips to start letting go of that mindset of what other people think about you. That's something I've had to learn over the last years as well. And honestly, I think over the last maybe 15, 20 years, that's how I've been living my life. I really don't care what people think. There's people that I really appreciate advice from. There's people that I approach to hear their opinion. I let everyone say whatever they want to say. I'll have a discussion with anybody about anything, and I appreciate that. And we're going to have different worldviews. You see the world differently than I do, and that's completely okay. But, honestly, I do my thing. I walk my path. I learn and grow as I'm doing it. And I want you guys to do the same. So here are kind of like my 9 tips to start letting go of that. So the first one is acknowledge your thoughts. You got to be able to really begin chewing through, identifying your thoughts and beliefs that make you care about others' opinions. So one way I did this back in the day is keeping a journal of my thoughts. You hear me say this a lot, but writing things down really helps you process stuff. And by doing that, you can really begin to understand, what the root of your concern or concern is, or what how you can kind of start assessing the validity of that by looking into reframing. But that's one of the points that I have. Yeah, so start acknowledging the thoughts that you have and understand why. Then secondly, it's self-compassion. You got to treat yourself kind, man. There's times when I beat myself about certain things where I just think, where I look back at some point and just say, okay, whatever. But, recognize that everyone makes those mistakes. Everyone has insecurities. Even athletes and stars and politicians and people in the limelight, they also have insecurities. We're all people. But you got to learn to just speak kindly to yourself, focus on your strength, focus on your accomplishments, and really just, take care of yourself. Engage in those self-care activities, things that bring you joy, your hobbies, things that you're passionate about. That's the second point. Third point is you got to set personal boundaries. You need to know what is and what is not acceptable to you. And then the most important thing about that is you got to learn to communicate that boundary to others. And that also involves saying no. That involves saying no in your workplace sometimes. That is so hard, I think, for so many people. But you got to assert yourself, In certain situations, you really need to assert yourself, especially when you feel disrespected, Setting clear boundaries. Because you got to prioritize your own needs and values. And but that doesn't mean you being selfish, and I'll get to that in a second with another point that I have. But that doesn't mean being selfish. It just means setting boundaries. Fourth is focusing on your own goals. Prioritize your own goals, your aspirations, those things you want to accomplish, your values. Yeah, and really just focus your energy towards achieving those goals. Yeah, whatever that is, seek out those opportunities for growth. Seek out those opportunities for self-discovery. And ultimately, when it comes to focusing on your own goals, you got to avoid comparing yourself to others constantly. And that's what we're doing again and again and again. And when you can learn to let go of that, when you can really start focusing and saying, I'm comparing myself with the version I was yesterday, that is a different story, guys. That is a complete different story. Number 5, surround yourself with supportive people. So important. You need to seek out, you need to cultivate relationships with people who accept you for you and appreciate you for you. So simple. Yeah, you're going to meet a lot of people in your life or in your lifetime. I know I have. I've met a lot of amazing people. I've met a lot of people I dislike. I've met a lot of people who I find fascinating. I've built a lot of bridges to people who I, appreciate. I've also burnt a lot of bridges in my lifetime. Yeah, some that I'm glad I did, and some where, perhaps I shouldn't have. But that's life. Yeah, but surround yourself with supportive people. Spend time with people, and that can be family members or friends, but people who just maybe aren't exactly like-minded, but they aren't toxic, and they're going to accept you for you, and they're going to help you grow. So that's number 5. Number 6 is reframe negative thoughts. We talked about this specifically in 1-2 Snipisodes already, but challenge that negative self-talk. Replace it with positive affirmations of yourself. Self-encouragement, basically. Like I said, when I journal, write down stuff. I write that down. Do the same. Yeah, reframe those positive thoughts. Number 7 is learn to let go of self-perfectionism. Accept that, you hear that often, but accept the fact that perfection is unattainable in just about anything. You can focus to achieve that, to really do things to the best of your capability. But perfection is completely unattainable. What I like to focus on instead is really focus on growth. Because like I said, if I'm focusing on growth and doing it to the best of my ability, then I know I've done a job, a good job. I've done an excellent job in whatever I'm doing, knowing that it is perfect per se for the way I've done it. So it's about setting that realistic expectation. Again, progress and growth. Number 8, practice mindfulness. You hear me talk about this a lot as well. Be thankful. Be in the present moment. Don't get caught up. Like, again, this is so hard, but once you start practicing this and you start not caring about others' opinions, you're also going to be, more grateful. Do it through meditating, through journaling, mindful exercises throughout the course of your day, whatever that is. And even as you start accumulating success and accumulating wealth, it's going to help you stay grounded. It's going to help you stay focused. I'm talking from personal experience here, and from talking to other people as well in that. Yeah, so practice mindfulness. Just be grateful. And when you're grateful with what you have and where you are, you're going to start letting go of what everybody else has, what everybody else thinks, being jealous and those kind of things. And ultimately, number 9, the most important one that I have on my list is take responsibility for your own happiness. You guys, you have to realize that ultimately happiness is fully, wholesomely in your control. And you can take any step in life, absolute any, to make yourself happy and completely independent of others' opinions. There's lots of ways to do that. Living a fulfilled life. That is such a massive topic for me, especially over the last years. Whatever that may be, you can pursue hobbies and activities, things that just, like I talked about earlier in this Snipisode, about activities that bring you joy, your passions. You can seek out those new experiences. You can find challenges that push you out of your comfort zone. But whatever that is, ultimately, all those things combined in regards to your own happiness is completely in your control. Don't blame others, no matter what the scenario is. And sometimes that's easier said than done. Again, those are just the 9 kind of tips I can give to you guys when it comes to the topic of the opinion trap per se. And I really hope that that's helped you to think and really be a catalyst around this topic. I really want you to be authentic, to live who you are, and the way society is progressing today with this whole woke topic. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different subject. But just be yourself. Don't feel pressure to conform to societal norms and to expectations just because you have to. You be you. But at the same time, solve problems, help the world and your community, your surroundings just be a better place. Leave it better. That's all you got to do. Yeah, that's one of the most fulfilling things that you'll learn through life. Guys, that being said, I hope that's helped you today. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys tomorrow morning. That being said, stay dedicated, stay motivated, stay committed all day, every day.